Mayor Lenny Curry is giving new details about how to start applying for the city's Emergency Rental Assist program. The program will distribute nearly $29 million of the federal funds to assist Duval County residents who have been unable to pay for their rent or utilities due to a loss of income related to COVID. The funds will cover up to 12 months of rent and utility payments with the option for additional 3 months. Your household income, though, must be at or below 80% of the median income in Duval County, and applications will be accepted starting Monday at 8 a.m. The application deadline is Friday, April 9th at 9 p.m.